Welcome back, fight fans. This portion of tonight's broadcast has been brought to you by MDS Corporation, Dalloise Insurance Group, and Top Tier Mixed Martial Arts. Visit us on Facebook, Top Tier Mixed Martial Arts, located on Camp Horn Road in the north of Pittsburgh. Let's take a look at our tail of the tape for our second to last fight of the night. We've got Francis Mad Dog Healy, 25 years of age, 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at a svelte 145 pounds, a professional record of 3 wins and 2 losses. He's taking on Manny Millan, 30 years of age, 5 feet 8 inches tall, 145 pounds, with a professional record of 2 wins and 3 losses. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, to call in our fighters for the next bout.
We need it this time from the red corner, Manny Millan. Manny Millan, red corner to the cage side inspection area, please.
I believe Manny Millan is on his way to the cage right now.
I think this is Jimi Hendrix, All Along the Watchtower.
Jimi Hendrix cover of All Along the Watchtower, originally sang by
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan, that's right. George, no, I almost said George Zimmerman. What's his real name? It's Zimmerman.
It is Zimmerman.
It's not George Zimmerman.
Francis? Is it Robert Zimmerman?
Robert Zimmerman, that's it. Yeah, George Zimmerman's an entirely different person, and we're not going to talk about him. But Manny Millan has 2 wins, 3 losses right now as a professional. His last fight was a win versus Bruce Richards via first-round submission. It was a choke, so he's got a ground game.
And if musical taste is any indication, I like where his head's at.
Absolutely. Manny Millan coming in from New York, another fighter that had a bit of a trip tonight. I don't think he looks phased. He looks very ready. He came and talked to us at the announcement booth earlier. Very nice, friendly guy. I always have a special place in my heart for a fighter that comes and introduces themselves to the staff at the events. I think that's a good way to earn fans, and it's a good way to earn support from the actual production crew, honestly.
Yeah.
Crossing himself before he enters the cage. And a salute, and he's in. Manny Millan looks really jacked right now, too.
Looks like he's in good shape here.
Let's go to Dan Bogan to call in our next fighter.
From the blue corner, we need Francis Healy, cage side to the inspection stage here. Francis Healy.
And here comes a local favorite, Francis Mad Dog Healy, fighting out of the Mat Factory, a Pittsburgh local in Ambridge.
Francis Healy is coach now of Penn State New Kensington Wrestling Club. Excellent wrestling pedigree. Started with Mad Dog MMA, moved on to the Mat Factory now. You can see Ed Vincent in his corner. He's the large man there. He is a Walt Bayless black belt.
Oh, wow. Healy walking into some new school Johnny Cash when he started singing everybody else's songs.
There he's hugging Dom Mazzata, who's unfortunately did not get to fight tonight.
Gave a hug to our new UFC fighter, Chris Dempsey. Getting the grease, getting ready, looking good. Both fighters relatively the same in size, same height, very similar in their records. Francis Mad Dog Healy's last fight was a loss versus Josh Baker via unanimous decision, and we know he can fight for a full 15 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think Francis's conditioning could ever come into question here.
Absolutely, just the sheer nature of being a collegiate wrestler. This is a guy running a collegiate wrestling program. He knows what cardio is, and he knows how to attain it.
Yeah, he's in shape, and he's ready to go.
Now let's go to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official introduction.
Before this next event, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank Cut and Run Productions for handling the productions for tonight's pay-per-view on the internet, as well as you can order the replay all week, and eventually it'll be on YouTube. All that production is courtesy of Cut and Run Productions, and we thank you for that. It's time for the professional featherweights of Gladiators of the Cage, calling for 3 5-minute rounds. When the bell rings, your referee is Chip Snyder. First, fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at 148.5 pounds. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. 30 years of age. His record is 2 wins, 3 losses. He fights for Team Striker MMA. From Amsterdam, New York, welcome Manny Millan. And his opponent weighed in tonight at 146 pounds. He stands 5'7", 25 years of age with a record of 3-2. He fights out of the Mat Factory from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Francis Mad Dog Healy.
Referee Chip Snyder signaling to the judges they are ready, and so are the fighters. This portion of tonight's broadcast is brought to you by StreamPittsburgh.com for all your Pittsburgh entertainment needs, Oakmont Truck Rentals, and Tough.tv. Visit Tough.tv.com.
Both men look really fast here. Quick guys. And despite Francis's wrestling pedigree, I do know he likes to brawl.
He's got very good straight punches, and his lateral movement right now is not lacking.
Nice kick. You could hear that across the cage.
That one, I think that kick might have hurt him even more than that leg kick. That deep meat-packing sound, like you're hitting a steak with your fist. Wow, big
Francis
shot.
lands a big shot there.
Healy really leaning on that lead left kick to the body. I think he's thrown that about 5 or 6 times in so far.
Healy's got good movement here, and he's coming in at angles. He's charging at an angle, throwing a few quick strikes, and then moving back out.
The Mad Dog, another left kick. I've noticed he's throwing that left kick, and then he's coming in with a big 2-punch combo.
Now he's coming into wrestling mode.
Good job pulling out the foot and ankle of his opponent. Manny Millan trying not to get to his back. Manny Millan doing a good job controlling the hips right now of Healy, getting a little bit of separation, but it might be to no avail.
Francis is a tough guy to get off you once he's on top.
Healy putting a lot of pressure on his opponent right now. Might be bowling over Millan. Attaining a full mount, possibly.
Looks like he's going to be moving off to side control if he can here. He's in sort of a loose half guard position. More firmed up now.
Look for Healy to perform some ground and pound on Manny Millan right now.
But a lot of guys now are favoring being in the top of half guard as a striking posture, as opposed to even full mount.
Absolutely, it really gives you the opportunity to control your opponent's hips. And as you know, if you control your opponent's hips, you control your opponent.
It really does. The thing about mount is you have limited offense. Everybody knows what's coming, and sometimes a guy can dismount you pretty easily. It is hard to get out of a good half guard when somebody just has their legs clamped on you.
Healy looks like he's taking the back of Millan right off the bat.
He's got that arm. It looks like it might be under the chin here.
We've seen one submission so far tonight of this style with no hooks in. Millan appears very game. He's fighting the hands, doing a good job, keeping him at bay.
Millan's staying calm. I mean, you know, not letting him get that choke sunk.
We've got 2 minutes left in this first round. Let's see how it goes.
That forearm keeps sliding in and out from under the neck.
Healy just working on softening up Millan. Good use of the elbows by Healy.
Yeah, excellent here. And landing, you know, a little bit of leather to the face. Oh, and there's the choke.
That is across the jaw. That's not a choke, that's a crank.
That is a neck crank jaw lock here.
That takes a tough guy to hold on through that.
Healy's let it go.
You know, sometimes it's a matter of, do you want to hold on to something like that and possibly gas your arms out when you don't know if you're going to get the finish?
Yeah, it shows a lot of jiu-jitsu experience there. I mean, you know, sometimes you know you don't have it, and just cranking it harder is not going to make it work. All you're going to do is gas your arms.
Millan fighting the hands of Healy right now. Healy, good job getting in that right hook.
Gets that hook in, flattens him back out. back to the back, making it really hard for Millan to get back up.
Less than a minute left in this first round, and this has been a one-sided fight insofar. Francis Healy really dominating the ground game. Millan utilizing the thickness of Healy's right glove for a minute there to hold on to his arm.
Both hooks in now, full on.
I don't know if there's enough time for him to do anything substantial from here, but I mean, this is a definite dominant position in the eyes of the judges.
Certainly. 15 seconds left. We'll see if Francis, decides to maybe fall off to a submission here. I mean, armbar. There it is. He attempted it, and though he missed, I give him big props on that.
Absolutely.
Very smart move. I mean, 10, 15 seconds left. You try to end the fight right there.
Healy showing some really impressive wrestling here tonight.
Absolutely, and that round was all Healy, really. I mean, that round obviously goes to him.
I mean, if we're talking in terms of submission attempts, I know Healy had that jaw crank really tight, and I know from experience that is not a good feeling. That's also a move that would not be legal in the amateurs.
No,
as a professional fighter, they are allowed to crank the neck and the jaw.
I would have to think that round took its toll on Manny Millan to a greater extent than Healy. I mean, being on the bottom, being ridden the whole round, having to defend much, much harder.
Absolutely. Gravity plays a very big factor whenever it comes to one opponent being on top of another, as it's much easier to stay on top of someone than it is to be on the bottom and constantly be trying to get them off of you. Round 2 coming up. Chip Snyder signaling the judges, and the fighters are ready to go. Francis Healy's got a very big smile on his face right now.
Francis Healy looks like he's enjoying himself out here, finding his pace. Let's see what happens.
Level changes by Manny Millan, trying to find his way in.
Flicking head kick by Healy.
Big leather being tossed by both fighters right now.
Oh!
Wow.
Millan lands, briefly drops Healy.
Caught Healy clean on the face. Big takedown attempt, and Millan's got Healy down.
Scores a takedown here.
Healy's right back up.
Healy gets right back up. Very hard to keep a wrestler of his caliber on his back.
Good job by Millan to attempt that takedown, have Healy stand right back up and immediately break and get a distance. Another takedown attempt by Millan.
Another takedown attempt, and he's deep.
I would have to say that's 2 takedowns for Millan just now.
Healy has that wizard grip and stands back up and uses his wrestling to counter that. That was really, really nice wrestling there.
Very slick.
Goes right back to the position we saw him in throughout the majority of round 1. Not where Millan wants this fight.
And this is a wrestler style right here, grinding, constantly weighing on him, and now
he's got that tight. It's not under the jaw, but
and
it's tight
over.
Enough.
It is over. Francis Healy wins via rear naked choke in the second round.
Francis Mad Dog Healy just simply out-grappled his opponent tonight.
Very impressive performance tonight by Healy.
Just too much wrestling, too much jiu-jitsu.
Very good rear naked choke. I hope we can get a chance to see the instant replay on that, Mike.
Yeah, that was an impressive submission. Really good display there. The way he countered that takedown was the most impressive part of the fight.
Here we see him sinking in the choke. Didn't quite have his arm under the jaw of Millan, but sometimes that doesn't matter.
A lot of times it doesn't. There's so much pressure there. Most guys are going to tap.
And it is another scenario where the fact that they're wearing gloves makes the grip, in my opinion, that much tighter. It's not like you have to worry about your arms being sweaty and slippery. You have that material on your hand to help you get the grip.
It does, yeah. And Healy keeping that top arm back behind the head so that Millan couldn't grab it and lever it down to release the grip.
Millan, instead of grabbing the arm, actually threw a couple of punches, couple shots at Healy. I have to wonder if that was the best game plan. But it is what it is, and the result is here. Both fighters being very cordial to each other. I love seeing that.
Yeah, I think this is a good fight for Francis to get back on the winning track. I know he's had some bumps in the road. His last fight, his fight against Kama Worthy. But, he's still a young pro, and it's a learn-as-you-go process. I think this really highlighted some of his strengths.
Francis Healy receiving a congratulations by Dominic the Honey Badger Mazzata, who was supposed to be our main event this night. Let's go to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 1 minute, 19 seconds of round 2, the match came to an end via rear naked choke for your winner, fighting out of the blue corner, Francis Mad Dog Healy. Katie, take it away.
Congratulations, Francis. Come over here, I gotta ask you some questions. So you were relentless throughout this entire fight. Can you tell us a little bit about the thought process and what was going on in your head during the fight?
I mean, from what we've seen about Manny, he's tough. He comes at you hard at first, so we really wanted to kind of just keep the pressure going, and eventually, you know, we'd wear him down. So that was the plan. So that's kind of how it happened. So,
is there anyone you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, I'd really like to thank all my family and friends for coming out, man. I love the support. I want to thank my team, Mad Factory, all my sponsors, all my shorts, Team Hard Work. That's where I get all my strength and conditioning. Subert Insurance. These guys fill the whole row out here, man. They brought so many guys. Thanks a lot for everything. Thanks for the shirts. Pick up one if you get a chance. That's it. Thanks to Gladiators of the Cage for the fight.
Congratulations.
Give it up for Francis Mad Dog Healy. Also, I don't know if he's still around. We saw him wandering around earlier. We want to welcome Brett Showtime Schoenfeld, and I just got a glimpse.
Well, there you have it, folks. Francis Mad Dog Healy moving on to an impressive 4 wins and 2 losses as a professional. Coming up next is going to be our main event of the evening, Michael Wilkins versus Christopher Coggins. But first, a word from our sponsors.